that's who I am, but I was not afraid. And today, again, I was getting at the players that are drafted today, and everyone, competitive people, the word dog comes up a lot. That guy's a dog. That guy, well, I was a wolf, okay? I used to eat dogs.
Now, back to the morning roast with Bonta and Shasky.
I was listening to Jerry West. Remember that? Dogs. I'm a wolf, man. I eat dogs. Everybody wants to talk about being a dog. Rest in peace to the logo, Jerry West, who just passed away at the age of 86 years old. Basketball lifer, the logo, and champion, 9-time champion, 8 as an executive, 1 as a player. He's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame for being a contributor to the game this year alongside Michael Cooper, who will join us at 9:20. Of course, Michael Cooper's coaching of the Big Three, but he knows Jerry West very, very well, and I know he's dealing with his emotions right now when it comes to Jerry West. He is one of the all-time Lakers, no doubt about it. One of 5 players to ever average 25, 5, and 5 over the course of their career. And just when you think basketball, you think Jerry West, you think about a guy who wants to win, despite all the finals losses as a player. You think of Jerry West. The guy just wanted to win. He competed at the highest level, helped change multiple franchises. So, as a player, I never got to see him play live, unfortunately. But I see the box scores, and I see 14 All-Star appearances in 14 seasons as an NBA player. I see 1969 Finals MVP, and the Lakers didn't even win that series. We've seen the highlight forever and ever and ever. The 60-foot shot to send the game to overtime in the finals because there was no three-point line. Yet they still lose that game. But he competed at the highest level. The portrayal in the show, Winning Time, that was not Jerry West. A lot of people are irate about that. I remember talking to Raymond Ritter, who knew Jerry West very, very well. Raymond Ritter, of course, Senior Vice President of all communications of the Golden State Warriors. He worked with the L.A. Lakers for a long, long time. He knows Jerry West inside and out. He was so irate over the portrayal of Jerry West in that show. Now, it was funny to us because it was a parody. But I remember talking to Raymond Ritter. He goes, that is not who Jerry West was. The guy has never drunk in his life. He's not a drinker whatsoever. So he was pissed about that because that's how good of a man Jerry West was.
Yeah, just, man, you said one of the all-time iconic Lakers. Like, I don't think they don't have a quote-unquote Mr. Laker, but, just thinking about it, he would be that guy.
Right.
I know for for other people from different generations, they're going to go Kobe, they're going to go Magic, and, obviously Kareem or Elgin Baylor or whatever, but given what the body of work was for him, I mean, he is Mr. Laker. There's no question about it.
And when you guys are talking about how it didn't end super well with the Golden State Warriors, I mean, the Lakers and Jerry West haven't really gotten along. And unfortunately, I don't think they ever really, came to some sort of, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but just
amicable.
Yeah, an amicable, just coming together, because that guy is synonymous with winning in that organization. And he felt some type of way with, the Buss family. And obviously after Dr. Jerry Buss passed, I know he didn't have the greatest relationship with Jeannie, with Jim Buss and them. And it never feels like they kind of reconciled together, which is unfortunate because he is just such a legend within that organization. I mean, you can make the argument, guys, the architect of the Showtime Lakers, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, and the Golden State Warriors, if he brings in Kevin Durant, you're talking about outside of the Michael Jordan Bulls, 2 of the greatest teams of all time is the 0-1 Lakers and 2017 Golden State Warriors. It's not even close.
Showtime and what that team meant to the game of basketball as a whole. Forget the league. Forget the NBA. Just the game of basketball, right? I mean, the style of play, and, man, there's no doubt about it.
I mean, it's you talk about the bringing Shaq. Shaq tells the story all the time. Jerry West got me out of Orlando. He got me away from Penny and Dennis Scott and Nick Anderson. And he put the rings on the table, lit up the forum. They were still at the forum. Lit up the forum. See those banners? You want to be part of that, Shaq? You got everything. You got money. You got cars. You're in movies. You have rap albums. But you don't have no bling. You don't have no bling. It's different when you win. And it's different when you win as a Laker. And Shaq always told that story.
Well, it's true. There are certain brands you win with, and it means more.
Yep.
Yankees, Lakers, Cowboys. It does. We could argue, but we all know it, deep down inside, it does matter more for some of those organizations.
It does.
It's interesting. You were bringing up so many things there, and the element that I keep coming back to for Jerry West and for anybody, and I think about your colleague and your friend Chris Mullin. When you are not the owner and you work for an organization in a GM or advisory role, or you're a coach or whatever, and a lot of coaches talk like this. You heard Larry Brown talk like this. At some point, you're either going to walk away or get fired. It's the only way. It's the only way. And at some point, there's going to be some sort of a break or a split. And I always think, like, when you're a legend in a jersey, Jerry West was a legend in a Laker uniform. Chris Mullin was a legend in a Warrior uniform. And then you become the GM or a part of the front office in some capacity. It's really difficult. It's really difficult because everything's getting scrutinized. And at some point, again, you're either going to walk away or you're going to get fired. And you're putting your own playing legacy and connection to the fan base, as beloved as you are kind of putting it on the line.
Yep.
And so I have even more respect for people that choose to go into that path. Like Dunleavy's a great example. Like Dunleavy was a warrior. He wasn't beloved to the degree of Chris Mullin, but like to be able to put yourself out there and to continue to want to compete, I think it says a lot about you as a person. John Lynch has the same quality, even though he didn't play for the Niners. Like that guy is like thirsty for the competition.
He is. I'm just think about the NBA. Now, the NBA Finals is just, I feel like they've botched the momentum of the finals by not having a game for a week. And then you get game one, and then you got 3 days off, and you get game two, then you get 2 days off, you got game three tonight. We haven't played since Sunday. But what's gone on in the NBA the last 2 years, they've lost two iconic figures in just the last couple weeks. With Bill Walton, who was great at what he did, didn't have the career in the NBA as like Jerry West, but he was a champion. And if injuries didn't derail him, he would have been one of the best centers of all time. We would have talked about Bill Walton differently. But just thinking about what the NBA has lost and had to endure the last 2 weeks, you lose Jerry West in the middle of the NBA Finals. You lose Bill Walton right before the NBA Finals. These are big shoes to fill.
Huge.
When it comes to representing your league, when it comes to representation, the way they were ambassadors for the game. Think about that top 75 picture with all those legends in there. All those legends. Like Kareem is still here with us, thank God. But we just lost Bill Russell. We lost Wilt a long time ago. But to lose Jerry West during the NBA Finals and to lose Bill Walton, these are two iconic figures in the NBA. Now, when we're thinking about the NBA Finals and the Celtics are up 2-0, there's no momentum in this series. The ratings are low. Nobody's talking about it. They lost all the momentum, and now you lose two ambassadors of the game. Just like that, man. It's a tough day for the NBA. This is tough for the league office. Hey, these are not replaceable guys. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think they're in a tougher spot just where they are as a league? Are they in a tougher spot today than they were after Jordan left?
That's a great question.
Because there was a lot of rhetoric about, like, there's all these high schoolers. There's this image that the NBA was portraying, and that, you know, that people were sponsors were uncomfortable with. Remember the conversations back then, and you didn't know that LeBron would evolve into LeBron, or that even Kobe would be, you know, the beloved figure that he ended up being at the very end. He was despised.
He was despised for a while.
You know, for a long time.
Because of what happened in Eagle County, Colorado.
You know,
we don't want to bring that up, but that hurt Kobe for a long time.
And as beloved as AI is today, he was controversial at the time. You know, there was a lot of like, you know, mothers don't want their kids looking up to Allen Iverson. You know, I'm thinking about where the league was then, and like you didn't have comprehensive streaming packages where it was, you know, difficult to navigate watching. You knew you were going to be on NBC and TNT and ESPN, like the major players. ABC at the time, I believe, had the finals. And so I just look at where the league's at now with the regional sports broadcasts, and you got Steph 1 foot, you know, closer to retirement. LeBron 1 foot closer to retirement. No clear-cut American-born superstar to hand the league over to. I don't know. I wonder if you think it's in a tougher or better spot than way back when Jordan stepped away.
I think it was a tough spot with Jordan because it was all in on Jordan, right? You still have LeBron, you still have Steph that carry the torch into the next couple of years. But you have these young ascending stars in Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic. We just saw Anthony Edwards in the conference finals. You see the young Oklahoma City Thunder with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I still think the league is in a better spot than it was post-Jordan. Post-Jordan, it was a lot of confusion. High school guys coming in left and right. The league was young. Kevin Garnett wasn't quite ready to lead. Chris Webber's in Sacramento for crying out loud. Sacramento was a nobody at the time, and obviously they built it up. But the league was in a tough spot. The rule changes. Remember they had rule changes going from hand check to a more wide open play, but still had those low-scoring games. It was tough. That was a tough transition for the league, but they bounced back in a major way. I think they'll be able to transition for life after Steph and LeBron a lot easier than it was without Michael Jordan because of some of the young stars that you are propping up here in the game.
It feels just
and you have Wemby too. Don't forget about Wemby.
Yeah, but again, I don't know. I'm not young enough to understand how captivating he is for the 13-year-olds. I don't know. I know Ja Morant was just a couple years ago, very captivating. And I'm sure he could get back in there. But like I was thinking about like after the Kobe and Shaq Lakers, there was like a lull of Pistons, Spurs, boringness until you got to the Heatles. And that like
or the Celtics. You got the Celtics when they traded for KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce.
Yeah, I guess.
People were fired up about that. People were really fired up about that.
That's true.
You know, because it was Doc Rivers, it's the Celtics brand.
That's a good point.
And then for them to beat the Lakers, you got Lakers Celtics again in the NBA Finals. That was cool because they were showing all the old games around it.
I got a little tired of the Lakers Celtics at the end, at the very end.
It's kind of like Yankees Red Sox.
Yeah, it did at the very end of it.
But I get it though.
But I'm not involved.
Right. Yeah, if you're involved, I think it's different.
Emotionally.
I'm the Red Sox Yankees did jump the shark because they showed them all the time on Sunday Night Baseball.
Yes.
The Lakers and Celtics only played twice in the regular season, one in Boston, one in L.A., and it's a crapshoot whether or not they're going to meet in the NBA Finals. The Yankees, Red Sox, they're in the same division. They're playing 19, 20 times a season. Games are 4 hours long. It's like, all right, enough is enough. Lakers, Celtics, we had the iconic Laker game a couple years ago when Patrick Beverly brought the camera onto the court for the rep. Eric Lewis showed him the photo with LeBron James.
The season.
We're in Philadelphia.
Where LeBron was lying on the free throw line?
Oh, no, he was big mad. He got swatted at the end of that game. God. It should have been an and one to win it in regulation, and he was freaking out and yelling. Yeah, and he was grabbing his arm like he was Jim Harbaugh on the sideline. It was ridiculous, yeah.
I don't think that they're in some horrible spot, the NBA as a whole. I do believe that there's going to be some unforeseen stars that will pop. This is what happens in sports. Like because of evolution and just the way that the sport is, it kind of figures itself out like Jurassic Park. It finds a way, And so I do believe that they will find a way to move on and find someone to get there. But I did find it interesting that the first couple of games didn't rate that well. It doesn't matter when it comes to the television deal because they've already paid for
their money.
They've already paid for the rights and all that stuff. But Luka, I thought would resonate a little more. The Celtic brand, I thought would resonate a little more. I was a little surprised.
Well, I don't even know how these ratings are measured. Are people watching? Are people not watching? Are people not watching because of Kyrie Irving? In the stance he took with the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, I didn't even think
Maybe
of
that's
that.
a thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But
I know there's some people that I've talked to who won't go back to the NBA because of what happened during the pandemic. They didn't like the Black Lives Matter on the court. They didn't like all the political stance that the NBA players were taking. Now, I'm all for NBA players or professional players using their voice in the way they want to use their voice. I have no problem with that. But there are some people who are turned off by that stuff. And so you need some more. You need Jason Tatum to pop. And I'm here with the 650 before we get to the lines. 650 Xfinity Mobile text line. I think the NBA is in murky water with the lack of U.S. born players. And that's why we're desperate for Anthony Edwards to take that next step. We're desperate for Anthony Edwards to carry this league. We're desperate for Paolo Banchero to pop with the Orlando Magic. Let's see what happens with Donovan Mitchell. Let's see what happens with Jalen Brunson. You have some nice young players in this league who can carry it, but I'm just thinking about the leadership void of a Jerry West and a Bill Walton. Those are big-time leaders you're losing here overseeing the league. Think about when Jerry West walks out to a court.
I mean, he's
whether it's
there.
Memphis, whether it's the Warriors, whether it's the Clippers, young players are looking up to him saying, wow, that's a logo. And they're going to stop and they're going to listen.
No doubt. No doubt. But like, you also have to understand that the players on the floor are the ones that are going to captivate the younger people. And so I look at Jokic, as talented and as amazing as he is. I see none of the kids wear Jokic jerseys.
Yeah.
I don't see it anywhere.
Yeah,
and Luka, I believe, has some he resonates to a degree, but I think the older crowd is bored with him because of the complaining and the way he holds on to the ball.
The Jokic thing is interesting because I love his game. I think his game is very unique. But for whatever reason, maybe he needs to talk more. Maybe he needs to do more podcasts. Maybe he needs more commercials. I don't know. But I really dig Jokic, but I understand why kids may not want Jokic. He doesn't play above the rim. We want flash. We love flash.
Yeah, but
we love drama.
The stars of the league have to have charisma, and
that's
so
what
I
I'm
think
saying.
I don't think he has the charisma.
See, I think he has a dry sense of humor.
He's a great player, but that doesn't mean he has charisma.
I think he has a dry sense of humor. When you look at his pressers and his posts, like I watch every single one of his pressers in the postseason. I think this guy's kind of funny. If you really just watch him and his body language and everything, he's kind of funny, but it doesn't resonate with a lot of people. And I think he has charisma. I hear how people around Denver talk about Jokic, but whatever floats your boat, I guess. Not everybody's going to hit and resonate with a lot of people. So